Alright, I'm gonna start the video by saying there's no captions for this video. There is no cap. There is legitimately no reason to, and I'm just going to be talking about something that really isn't need captions just in case I get in trouble. Um, but the thing is, also this is probably spoiler worthy. Hopefully not. This is more of also probably spoilers for the kind of the X-Pac, but it's not really mainly spoiler for X-Pac. It's more of a mission which comes to the what the fuck is that mission called? The Hildebrand quest line. Okay, I'm just gonna teleport. Where the fuck is the teleport part? But yeah, so I'm gonna talk about the fact that more of the information about like touring and stuff may happen a few videos ago. But the thing is, I don't think it's gonna happen. Like, there's like a 99% chance I'm not going on the tour. But because I don't want to go on the tour now, because I know it's gonna be a really shitty tour, there is a possibility that 1% goes to 50. And the reason why I say that is because mostly, a lot of times when you don't want something, that thing happens. And you may say, well, why not reject it? The thing is, I would reject it. But also, if they ask me, I'm not going to immediately say no because that cancels any opportunities in the future. You want to say, hey, I want this amount. And then if they say no to that amount, they say, oh well, I have something else. And you can just give them an excuse. And then, you don't have to worry about shit. But that's the fun thing about that. I can just say that and not have to worry about anything else about when it comes to touring. And the reason why I say like it's not really something I want to do is because it's a very short tour. Like it's a 4 month tour. But the problem with it being a 4 month tour is the fact that it's a 4 month tour, but it's a 4 month tour with 90 stops, which doesn't sound bad to somebody who was not like 90 cities. Doesn't sound bad to anybody who hasn't been on tour, but it's bad. The thing is, you have 90 cities you're going to, which means you're not really having any, and I mean any real time off. You might have maybe one or two. It's more than that, but you're not really, again, like how many, actually, I don't even know how much days and coming up since till like January to like February, March, April. So you'd go into April probably a little bit over, but still, you have 90 stops in 4 months. That's too much for the small amount of time you have. And again, like 4 months sounds like a lot of time to somebody. You're literally in 90 cities in 4 months. It's not good. It's truthfully shit. It's probably the worst thing you could ever ask for yourself. You may think to yourself, okay, it's so bad. Why would you work it? Money. That's mainly the reason why people are picking it up. It's less of the fact that like they want to do all these fucking days. It's just the fact that like they don't have a tour going on. And I think I've said it before, like touring is the best stable job you can get when it comes to my industry. Again, that's not like I'm not gonna say getting a salary job for a theater isn't bad either, but I don't really like salaries. Salary can be good or bad because of the fact that like a lot of times they can fuck you over if you have a salary position because of the fact that like oh wait, I can try out this new amount I have. But yeah, you would have salary, and they can easily be like, okay, cool. Since you're a salary, you don't get this thing called overtime, which is garbage if you can't get overtime. This is what this looks like? Okay, that's interesting. That's not bad looking. But yeah, so like that's the thing. And the reason why I say it's probably the one stable because of the fact that like you're getting paid every week. That's the thing. It's different from like when it comes to any other job where it's like truthfully speaking, my industry is probably the most unstable fucking industry when it comes to like knowing you're getting work. Because again, you can have a period where you're getting so much work and that's just dropped on a fucking dime. You have nothing, which is why touring is pretty good because again, you know you're touring for those 4 months. You have 4 months of work, and a lot of times when you go on one tour, you'll probably be pushed onto another tour. You know why long tours are truthfully something people want because they have 6 months of getting paid weekly, which means it builds up. They save money, and the hope is you don't really do anything else after you're done with these tours. Like I try not to do anything for like a month or two, and I'm like, all right, cool. I either need a tour, I need to work at like a job or like a gig essentially, and I kind of hope I can find something. Because a lot of times it's like, cool, you're gonna work this thing, because like I think I talked about it like briefly. It's like I literally had no tours, right? I was waiting for like work because I was told, oh, cool, you're gonna have to like do this, and where's the Natsu? So like, hey, you're gonna have gigs essentially. Oh, this is the wrong thing. Okay. Where the fuck is the person I'm looking for? Did I go too far? It's not even here? I hate my life. But yeah, so it's a very stable thing, which is why people go on tours. The thing about tours, it's so shitty. It's a very shitty thing to like try to go on a tour. Like even when people ask me, it's like, oh yeah, they want to go on tour. I was like, I wouldn't recommend touring for people because it's very stressful. Like it's a very easy concept for anybody in my industry, but it's also a very stressful thing to deal with. And one of my friends I just saw recently said it kind of completely right when they said touring it like every month you tour adds a year essentially. So if you tour for 4 months, you're basically touring for 4 years because it's just that stressful, that much fucking work you have to do. Because again, it's not an easy thing to do because you're doing work constantly. I think I've touched about it in my tour video as well. It's like for tours, it's like a six. I'm gonna let this play. But for tours, also you can't see what's happening on tour, so it's not a spoiler. Let's go. But yeah, for tour, it's like a 16-day work schedule, right? And essentially, which I say 16 very briefly. Your start time is 8, which means venue access is open at 7. So basically you're awake till like 7, maybe 6, if you're like me and want to take a shower early. Now, what does that mean exactly? That means you're awake till then, and you're probably not going to sleep until like maybe 2 or 3, depending on when your loadout is. And again, if you're lucky, you have pretty much downtime. Or if you're really lucky, you'll find a tour that is a sit down type of tour. Now, I'm going to explain the two types of tours without really explaining everything when it comes to like what type of tours, like actual like tours and stuff like that. So there's sit down tours, and then there are one-nighters. I've been on mainly one-nighters. Like only one of my tours had like a few day tours like sit downs, but mainly it's been all one-nighters. So what does that mean is that you sit down in place exactly what it says, right? Like you're sitting down, meaning you're gonna load in, and you're that's really all you're in. Like you're loading in, and you're going to be at the place for a while, so you don't really have to worry about anything. You can go. You're going a bit late, so let's say shows at 6. You probably don't really have to be in there till like 4, like 5 or 4 if you're being nice. And you can theoretically just ride in, which means you get a free ride to venue, or you can basically Uber from wherever you are essentially. But that means you have time to like explore the place you're at. When it comes to a one nighter, which is like I said, which I've been doing, you literally go in, you load into that place, which means you set up, you bring in all the stuff from the trucks, you start loading in. I really don't know how to say anything else, but you start putting everything up. You basically have your breaks, and you get like 2 1 hour breaks, which it's truthfully speaking way too close together. Like it's way too close together. It's like you're basically having lunch in there at the same time, so you're not really that hungry. Like I don't think I've ever really like I've rarely done it where I've ate for both my lunch and my dinner. Because as I said, it's so fucking close together, it makes no sense. You do that, you get your lunch and dinner breaks, which is again both for 1 hours, walkaways, and then you start the show, immediately strike. Like you if we're lucky and it's new people, you can take a few minutes off, but most of the time you just start strike immediately so you can finish and basically pack up so you can leave this venue, which I've always done. Those are all my tours. Like you just do all these things. I think it's like, is it good or bad? Like, do you rather like one nighters or do you like sit downs? The truth is, I would rather a sit down more than a one nighter because again, one nighters do a lot of toll on your body because again, you're working a lot in that one day. You're doing a lot in that one day compared to like sitting down and kind of not really having to load in, load out, like move everything back out. Like I've also done like a tour where we had to lag into the stage for like one of our well, like one of our like lighting towers. And lagging means like drilling into the stage so that the thing stays, literally stays into the stage. It was a very dumb procedure, and I was like, why are we doing this when we're one nighters? Like also all these things do is blind the fucking audience. It's audience blindness. Why the fuck is it needed? Like I don't know. Like there are certain things with tours which I don't understand or get why people do things, and I usually always say, "Hey, this is dumb as fuck," and it's usually not remotely fixed or changed, even though the shit's really dumb. It's like I literally voice my opinion sometimes. It's like, yeah, no, it doesn't matter. I was like, but this is stupid as fuck. Cool. All right, thanks. Thank you for being an idiot. So, back on the topic of that tour and saying exactly what I mean by like, I'm probably not gonna get it. I mean that exactly. Like, I'm saying, like, I don't think I'm getting it. Like, they literally started prep, and the worst thing about that is the fact they started prep, and the only person they had for like the lecture team, which usually again I've also I'm not gonna go over it again. I explained it in my tour video, but they usually have a bunch of people when it comes to the different departments. So you usually have an assistant. Every head has an assistant, depending on the tour and how much money they actually have. But they did not have the assistant hired yet. And again, this is the same tour I've literally got ghosted for. So it's the same tour I was talking about this whole time because I got ghosted for the tour, and I was like, okay, cool, this is weird. Because again, we were in talks. I talked to them. They said, hey, they were telling me about the tour and stuff, and they ghosted me. And I found out from my friend. I was like, yeah, she does that. I was like, oh, that's great. That's not really good business practice, but that's great. But yeah, so like I was talking to my friend who was a part of like the head, and he was like, yeah, we've talked about assistants and I've been trying to get good ones and she's not giving me shit. He was also like, yeah, I also put your name in that, and it was like, oh, okay, cool. And she did not say anything. I was like, she already ghosted me for it, so that's funny as hell. So that's the fun thing about that. This is kind of spoiler territory because wait, why am I here? That was the shitty thing, and I got ghosted for it, and they're suffering because they don't have anybody. Because the funny thing is, if I wasn't ghosted and I was told, "Hey, you want to work the tour?" I probably would have worked the tour. I still would ask them for money, but I would have worked the tour, and I mean more money than what they were probably offering because they would have probably just called me, asked me for the minimum of the last tour they did with them, which I would have said no, and give me more money because that's what I'm still gonna do, and I'm gonna charge them like a grand more because of the fact if they do ask me, I do fully want to say 2 grand more. I was actually gonna like I upped the grand because of the dumbness, but I also was like, it's a dumb situation, and the fact that like you're waiting this long to even get anybody, which is hurting your like people, like it's actually hurting them because you're having to find other people that's not a fucking part of the tour. The thing is, I could have worked the prep. Prep means setting up for the tour. That means finding all the cables you need, and loading up the trunks, like the cable trunk. So also making sure all the truss you have, the truss pieces are, all the lights are on there. Like you just make sure you have everything. It's basically inventory for touring. So would have helped with that, but the thing is, like it was last minute, and also I was getting like it's very cold here nowadays. Like you can see, oh you can see the weather right now. It's like 36 degrees, but it was like I think it was like basically in the low 20s. Thing is, it was an early one thing, and I would have to like cross state lines to get there. So I'd be basically there all day. It'd be like 2 hours to even do that type of the setup, which means I'd be 2 hours there and then 2 hours back, and I'd be cold and tired in the morning because again it'd be freezing as fuck because again it's early in the fucking morning, and that's usually how weather works. And then I'd have to kind of come back and be tired as I'm coming back late at night and basically have to do it all again, which is only like 5 days. It wasn't like the full week, but it's still a fucking shit situation where I'd have to hope that the trains were running like absolutely well, which again, trains don't really always run well. They usually don't when you need it to. But that was a sad thing. I was just like, he got fucked over by that. And I'm sad I couldn't help him with anything, but I said no. And then when I heard about the situation, I was like, I'm kind of happy I really didn't help him. Not to spite him, but I was like being petty. I was like, because they fucking ghosted me. And I'm a petty individual at times. I have no idea what's happening right now because I'm not paying attention. I'm talking. But that's on me. I don't really give a fuck. But yeah, that's the funny thing about that. Again, I do want to go on tour. It does take me away from like content creation and streaming, but I got really close to be like I was out of the red and I was broke. That was the first time I was broke in like a good 2 years, and I didn't like that. It was just like I was broke as fuck. Like I was so broke, and it was like, dude, this is not a good thing. And got all my money back, but I got out of the red. But I still need touring like saves me for that because again I get paid every week, so it's like every week for 4 months. I get a good amount of money, and as long as I don't spend a lot, I'm good. So that's the hope that I find a tour soon. Which the funny thing is, I've after like the thing like my friends on the tour, like I got her a tour. Like I got her a tour because I didn't want to do the tour because I hate doing like spot up work. So I got her a tour, and now apparently in their tour, people are like, there's problems with it, and she was like, yeah, we might have a spot for you soon. I was like, okay, interesting. So I may go in there, but I also don't know how long they're gonna last though, because this is like their second stint. So maybe it's currently like keep going, and I can get like an assistant video. I'm a very happy camper because that means I don't have to do much when it comes to like my show duties usually, because I don't know, like most like the last time I was like an assistant video, I very much had a show track, so I either do a show track or I do nothing. Like I just chill and be on standby essentially, which is fine with me. But when it comes to like assistant electrician, you're usually having to do spot up, which it's a very like tedious gig, which I hate it. And it is funny because like the friend I was telling you about when I was like I saw her when I think she's still here, but like when I saw her because she's doing like a sit down tour, we were talking about her friend like joined who was like the head electrician, and they were like, yeah, I fucking hate spot up. And so I'm just like I was like, yeah, it's not made to like, and because we're all like we both agree that it's not something that should be thing for that long. Like it should be, if anything, it should be you call and then you kind of have somebody at local do it. Because again, if you're only there for like a week or so, they're only doing it for like maybe a week, or they'll like swap out to somebody else. It's not just you, because again, you're on tour for a very long time. Like you're on tour for those 4 months. They're only there for like a few days, and then they can just do whatever the fuck they want for the next few days, and they're fine. But the sad thing is, that's not really a thing with you. You have to do this thing, which is what I hate. But like I said, you kind of have to do it, which sucks. Which is why I'm like hoping if she is talking about that, she's talking about the video position, because then I'd be happy about that. What else do I want to say? I think I said, yeah. Like touring essentially, like I said, I wanna work another tour. Hopefully I can find one, because I do miss touring. Also like streaming, what I didn't really do much this year because of like touring and then working and stuff like that. So I haven't done a lot when it comes to like jobs this year. I mean like streaming this year, because of the fact that like I've been working a good amount. But I still did more touring, I mean, more streaming this year than I did last year, because I was touring a lot more last year. But I'm happy with like all I gamed with. The only thing I'm sad about not doing, the only thing would be the fact that I wasn't able to play Metaphor. But that'll be a next year game, because I'm definitely out of time. Because I'm currently playing again. I'm already in next year, so it's when this video comes out, this is very much going to be a outdated concept, because it's gonna be next year. Will I be able to play Metaphor? I have no idea. That's a sad thing, but it's more of a. It's definitely a 225 game. So is Dragon Age: The Veilguard, the 225 2025 game as well. What the fuck? That was horrible. That was a horrible fucking graphic. I fucking hate this. Why is this man like this? But anyway, I fucking hate him. But yeah, anyway, that's really it. Hopefully I tour. If I do tour, it'll be in one of these videos. Again, I'll probably be touring by the time you even see this, because I'm way ahead of my actual, like, my progress of videos right now, which is amazing. But if I do tour, you'll definitely see in the video. It'll probably be when I'm touring. If I'm lucky, and if I'm amazing, maybe I can be done with the tour by the time I'm back, and I'll still do new stuff. And that way the content never stops. But I doubt that's going to happen. I think I'm only like 2 months ahead. What are you doing? That's a literal like player. That is a Final Fantasy player. That's my friend. So that's really gonna be it for today. This is like a last minute kind of recording, which is the day before Christmas right now. So again, you're getting this I think in February. Oh, it was a bomb. That's funny as hell. That's funny as hell. I didn't know you can make egg bombs. That's funny as hell. But yeah, so that's when you're gonna get this video. Happy holidays, even though it's way past that. But you know, some people celebrate Valentine's Day. Never know. But yeah, I'll see you all again in the next one. My name's Only Incubus. I my time, and I'll see you all later. All right, love you all. Bye. You're not seeing the end of this. I am though. Bye. I love you all. Peace. Mama.